they'll kind of mow through the enemies, almost awakening style. I'm not sure which I prefer. I think the enemy density overall on the previous chapter was just too high to make it really good either way, but that's enough about that though. Now we've got this chapter, Fog of War. So I don't really know what's out here. There's a chest, which means I should probably bring one of my, I'll probably bring Bob. With the Fog of War being as it is, and only having 4 deployment slots, I can't, as much as I want Edgeworth, I don't think I have the manpower to defend him adequately because he is made of paper, which is understandable given his incredible rally bot potential. Prin, I believe, is a good choice for my magic user here. She packs a punch. She has really good defense, so I don't have to baby her. Fantastic HP, even if they do manage to target her lower res. She does more damage, so the more damage she takes too. And she's got some nice debuffs and buffs. All around great support. Wish she was a little faster. 45's not terrible. I think I may have promoted her a little early in this file, but 14's manageable. She's gonna get doubled by faster stuff, but she has the defense to deal with that. She's about to hit an A rank in magic, light magic, which I can't really do a whole lot with, unfortunately. I need to get her new equipment because that's not gonna last, especially with the low character count. I want to bring Kaga because I like having a dancer. I'm not sure if I have the deployment slots. Then again, since Kaga is a dancer that can actually fight, he doesn't really do a whole lot thanks to Wary Fighter. Can't double attack, but he can drop single hits pretty decently, and he's got the HP general bulk to defend himself. So he's not terrible. I'm just wondering, depending on what's actually out in that darkness, whether or not I'll need a bit more offensive power. It's nice knowing how to recruit Evil Florina for my other file, so I know to save that 10,000 gold, and then I can use it later in the chapter, because she says she costs 10,000, but when she joins, she gives you 10,000, but you still need the 10,000. So I think for now I'm going to stick with Kaga, just to see how this goes. This may be a chapter that I can't Iron Man, depending on how things play out. We'll see. Alright, I got Ivaldi randomly, I believe. As randomly as I got Vidofner last time. Alright, that was the chapter. The other chapter was the skeleton boats. Skeletons on boats. I got extra Brave Lances now. Well, I guess I don't have to decide now. Since Void carries her the convoy with her, her inventory isn't super important because I can pull things out and put things away on the fly with her more freely than with other characters. I might have to dip into the armory, on board armory, to get another lightning. I got Divine. She's got enough defense, and her speed's not really amazing enough to worry too much about being able to double or not, since So 12, 8, so I'm being slowed down by 4. So she'll have, if I put her with the divine spell, she'll have 10 attack speed. She'll be, enemies with 14 attack speed or higher will double her. Given that her speed's already low, she's not likely to be doubling too many enemies, so having divine might be a reasonable option just to drop a single strong nuke with that respectable crit rate. I took away physique because this is a kind of a small chapter and I don't expect my units to kind of stray far from each other. I may pack, could also bring a torch. Again, since not planning on traveling too far from each other, I don't have to worry about carrying the vulnerary. I can pick one out if I need one. I have extra torches. Do I? I think I had one, yeah. Kaga is a good extra inventory. Can bring a nuke for him as well. Same kind of deal because a wary fighter. He's not gonna double anyone and no one's gonna double him. So having extra power if he needs to secure a kill with a stronger tome, it can be useful. It won't increase his risk of double attacks, its weight, but it does decrease his avoid still, so it's still worthwhile to have a lighter tome available. Void's Bond and Kaga's Amaterasu will also be helpful in keeping the everyone alive passively. Those are both healing passives for proximity units. Kaga's, I believe, is 30%. Oops. 20% for 2 tiles, and Void's Bonds are 10% for 3 tiles. So then I believe they do stack, so it's 30% within 2 tiles of both of them. Grabbing the Restore just in case there's nasty statuses out there. Lightbrand helps Bob counter attack against both close and long range, mostly there to dissuade enemies from attacking him, rather than to actually deal any damage. He is kind of low leveled, but I am favoring him over Anna, Rogue Anna, because he has better defensive stats, better defense and res. Anna's only beating him in skill by any significant margin. Shrine of Meals. Okay, so... Oh, alright, so we instantly have some more visibility here thanks to Bob and his thief visibility range. So I can get a little bit of a look at this. I see Great Lord enemies, which is neat. They have bandit mugs, which we actually saw earlier in the chapter that Evester joined way back when. There were NPC green units that had Lord classes, and they also had the bandit mugs. Maxed speed. But looks like they have similar growth spreads to Void. I saw an interesting skill there. Axe Breaker. Also has Bond and Aether and Kanto and Rally Spectrum. That's going to be fun. This one has Nil, Lancebreaker. Lancebreaker. Well, Prin's going to have to deal with that one. Lancebreaker makes Void all but useless against this particular one. I'm not bringing any axes, so axes aren't Axebreaker here isn't a problem. We just have Rightful King, Shove, and nothing for Rightful King to actually increase the activation rate of. Is there one on the other side? There is, an Ephraim. Same kind of deal. Just statistically better in almost every way. They have equivalent strength defense, speed, or strength, skill, speed, and Ephraim version has better defense and resistance. So yeah, okay. Void's going to have to... Void and Prin will definitely be putting in work here. Alright, let's go. That was a sound. It sounded like a bubble or a splash or something. Maybe not a splash, but... Let's get shed some light on this situation. Huh, these are red pools, and that is a Manakete. That's can activate dragon veins. I feel like I've seen that before, but I haven't run into any actual dragon veins yet. I think one of my units may have dragon's blood as well. Having odd rhythm is an awakening thing for Manakete. Miracle, huh? With only 4 luck, that's, well, survival lethal. Oh, okay, so that doesn't work the same way. Basically prevents him from being one-shotted. Spur def. Oh boy. Well, I may need to go back and bring a bow user. Yes, I do have plenty of... I have collected some legendary weapons thus far, so I guess I have to break them out if I want to deal with them. Though Miracle's going to be a problem. Hmm. $17. I think it might be time for some lunge shenanigans. No, I don't have terrible hit rates. Well, not with the Blitz Lance at least. No animation for that, but it's effective at least. That gets that enemy off of the pillar, which is defensive terrain. Enemy palette looking a little bit more like the original Erica than Void does. Color-wise, at least. Same thing with Ephraim there. Hello. Bjorn. If Overwatch is any guide on pronunciation. Druid. Live to serve, huh? It's interesting. Frenzy. I don't believe Frenzy is a class skill, so this is for him and Prin both. Maleficora and Spur Defense, I believe, are both class skills, though. So I definitely want to get him. An extra body here. Probably here to help with healing. he just hands over an elixir too, huh? That's nice. Also, he didn't join me. I'm not sure what to do with this. Well, I need that Manakee dead. I need to give Bob a Lance Reaver too. I'm not sure there's a good way of doing that safely here. Efficiently, I should say. And a chest key that I shouldn't need, because I brought a thief. And the thief will just keep to the safety of the pillars. And now I have to deal with you. Except thanks to Miracle, I don't think there's a safe way to deal with you. I'm taking that 24 damage regardless. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. Just gotta break out Vidofner. Vidofner is not effective. Great. Is Dragon Lance effective? Dragon Spear. Ah, crap. Misclick. Well. If the Manakee doesn't one-shot Kaga, then I think I should be okay. And maybe Bob might be in danger too. Yeah, Bob's in danger. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to restart. I'm gonna restart because it's pretty early and I need that visibility. But I wanna, I guess, check some of these things first. So okay, Dragon Spear is effective. Alright. Trying this again. Still think I'm okay sticking with these units, I just need to equip them better. Do that. Didn't see any axes, so I'm just gonna go straight to the Dragon Spear. Do I replace Prin with a mage that can burst more offensively? I think I'll stick with this for now. Celica might be an option. Because especially if these count as monsters, then she'll be dealing effective damage against them. But I'll stick with this for now. Alright, take two. That's what I did last time, lunge stuff. Could also lunge this one off and Kaga stays a little bit safer. Yep, that A rank that what can I do with? I guess that's Aura. If I get that spell. She can already use Purge, and might not be a bad idea to give that to her. So this will actually get around Miracle, thankfully. Right, because it dropped her below half and then killed her instead of taking her from half to dead. Can actually use Bob a little bit on offense here because Lance Reaver makes him effective against most of these enemies. You're not actually in range of anything. Guess we'll try talking to Bjorn again. At least Elixir is still better than nothing. Does he say it? It just says talk with Lloyd. Hello. So you may see I actually finally got around to installing a chat box into the stream visual itself. It only took me 13 plus weeks, but hey, it's here now. Make improvements slowly but steadily. I'm not sure what that glugging noise is, but it worries me. There we go. Let's get some visual. Realize I forgot to do this. Oh, you are right there. Okay. Fortunately, there's nothing else around. I can't do anything else with Bjorn. So I'm just going to heal up. Then I can use a Dancer move to get Void in range to blitz down that Manakete. So I don't have to worry about it coming over and murdering Bob from the enemy phase. About here. I was a little curious that Vidofner is not effective against the dragons, the Manaketes. But the Dragon Spear is, so they count as dragons, but they don't count as monsters. Oh, thanks for the heals. Oh, reinforcements. Well, with stuff that I guess kind of want. That's not good. That's passable. I won't kill though. What are your stats? Lots of resistance. Alright. Oh, yes, that's void. Bob will continue to work on thief things. Yeah. I almost don't want to use a the frugal side of me doesn't want to use a silver lance on that. That'll do just as well. I do still like the use of female enemy battle sprites and map sprites. Just kind of adds spice to variety to the enemy distributions. Yeah, the delay is something kind of built into most streaming. I think it's about 5 seconds. Though it might actually be a little more complicated than that since we're getting input from the chat that goes into the box that then shows up on my screen, and then that goes onto the visual for the stream overall. So I'm not exactly sure how the delay is going to end up being. Actually, I think it should still be 5 seconds, the standard delay. Because what shows up on my end comes directly from Twitch chat itself. It's a tool that links up my account, so that should send it directly to my screen and without any delay, and then it should just be the standard delay from anything I stream into the visual on twitch.tv. Hopefully there aren't any more reinforcements, because that's going to make this chapter a slog, because I don't have very many units to deal with them with. Don't quite have visual down in that bottom corner yet, so I'm going to be a little cautious. The pity there wasn't any story for this particular chapter. Fighting other lords that say that they're monsters could have been kind of interesting. I don't want to Ignis, right? It has half defense and half resistance? I'm actually not sure how that's going to work out. That'd be 4 plus 11 plus attack. He's got aura, but he doesn't drop it. But I have to deal with you regardless. a good thing Void has become fairly strong. More of what she's good at. So, that over 100% growth in HP, though I think that's done. 60 is generally the cap. So I don't, nothing else came up. Just gonna get this chest and keep moving on. Master Seal. What? Oh, that wasn't even my fault. Well, I'm not gonna reset for that. But I guess I'll let you guys know later from my other mode, normal mode file, what happens if you keep him alive. Well, she's got lots of skill. Good for proccing Aether. Oh, I guess we gotta see what's down here. Doesn't look like anything other than the two guards. One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, so Kaga can still be targeted if there was another mage that appeared there. I don't remember if the sound effect happened again in the end of last turn, whether or not there's another Manakete up here, but I'm gonna run from it. No need to kind of sit there and camp their reinforcements. Spear and Killer Lance. Spear is... well, normally I'd say the Spear is the lesser of those two because it has lower crit rates than the Killer Lance, but in this case, Void has the Hoplon Guard, which negates all criticals, so the Killer Lance is actually a little less threatening. But there's no real way of slipping myself into... I have no real way of making him use the Killer Lance over the Spear here, so I'm just going to switch to a ranged weapon and then counterattack him. I'll go with something light because I need to check their stats. 21. Comparable. Alright, I was a little worried that I forgot what his stats were and it was going to be super fast and double Void with her Javelin. She's got -2 to her speed, but it won't be an issue. 10, 10, okay. I shouldn't have wasted a mend on 1 hit point. It looked like a bigger deficit from the map HP bar. Oh well. The red armor looks kind of sharp actually on the enemy. Red and gray, I kind of like it. Does Bob have any purpose now other than continuing to provide light? Interesting. Banana is looks kind of weaker than her minions. So dumped all of her stats into luck. She's got obnoxious avoid though. That's not going to be fun to deal with. Wonder if I could lunge her. She doesn't have movement, and lunge doesn't work on classically in I say classically on two of the more recent games. One of the more recent games. In Fates, lunge does not work on enemies that have no movement range. They're kind of in this rooted state. Who do I want to kill you with? I guess I can weaken you with the Lance Reaver. It's reasonably safe. Finish up with the Blitz Lance because it's got nice high accuracy. And then the other one. The other one's going to be a job for Bryn. With, well, so 19 speed, but only 7 constitution, which means that the spear's actually going to weigh this enemy down by 3 points. So she actually only has 16 speed. Which does mean that if I use Shine instead of Divine, I can avoid getting doubled. Which, in my book, is worthwhile. Yep, there was another one. Especially with a non-zero crit rate, you don't want to give that any more opportunities to try critting than you have to. I guess I can do the same thing here. Now this is the 3rd or 4th one I've killed this chapter already. No, I cannot capture her. I have seen hacks that have explored potential ways of implementing a capture system into the GBA games. However, I'm pretty sure that this hack does not use them. It was pretty new even when this was coming out. It's actually a little bit of a pity that you can't unequip skills either, because I would actually take Wary Fighter off of Kaga, because Kaga actually has pretty good speed. Manicheats, we need to stop meeting like this. We'll be able to avoid a counterattack this time though. Aether is 2 hits together. Oh boy, more reinforcements. That one's okay. That one, this is an anti-turtling incentive. Reasonably tough. About as strong as the two guards I just took out. So not impossible to deal with, but enough to warrant enough effort that I can't just kind of brush it aside. Let's see, spear and a tomahawk. So you at least have a ranged game to be worried about. Slightly higher resistance than defense. I actually kind of really like that mug. The armor is, I don't know if that's like kind of a color swapped borrowed armor from someone else, another sprite, but it looks really good. What is Harbinger of this universe's destruction? The face, does that look like the face of mercy? Sure. This is not great, but see if I borrow the Hoplon guard, I can make this decent. Oliver? I don't remember an Oliver from, ooh, I did want to, I can lunge. Wonder if I can, save that for next turn. But I don't, from the first, is that a playable character? I don't think there was a playable Oliver in the GBA Fire Emblems. Since Prin has HP for days, I can kind of keep this up. Oliver might be one of the enemies. I know there's an Oliver in the Tellius games who's a bishop, but he's yeah, quick search is only bringing up the Tellius Oliver. Oh, hello, Sage. Enemy Sage. Gross. Of course, he's got RS, which means I need my... Oh, Wallace. Yeah, I remember Wallace. I don't remember what his armor looks like, but could be. See if I can find his mug. Good job, Google search. This is a lot of pictures of Fire Emblem stuff that are not Wallace. Even though that's pretty much all I put in there. No, it's different, yeah. Good idea, though. Alright. Need to give Oblong guard back. Can't take too long here. Because those reinforcements are kind of coming in on me. This is where the low deployment slots are starting to become a bit of a hassle. But I do want to see if I can lunge the boss off of the throne, and then maybe I don't even have to. Well, I do want to kill her because she's gonna drop the S tome. So what's here? 21. 3% chance of crit. Let's see. Alright, it does not work. Which it shouldn't. That would have been really gimmicky, but I saw an option and I wanted to try it. Well, I guess well, here. Since I know reinforcements can appear from over here, I kind of want to block them off. So I don't want to deal with them right now. I don't have the manpower to deal with them. I have a obnoxious evade tank to deal with already. This is gonna be fun. Actually works out. Can I make that any better? Male allies, resistance, not really. Is that just a regular dance or that's just regular dance? Alright, let's go with this. Death to the banana. Really, RNG? Because I did not want her to switch to the tomahawk, because that just makes my job harder. What's the spear do? 23. Alright. That's passable. I suppose this doesn't kill Kaga either, but... What's your hit rate against Prin? 5? And won't even kill. Okay. So, leave Void with the Hoplon Guard. She's the most important one to keep alive anyway. Nice. Grab my S rank Dark Tome, get out of here. You capped your skill yet? Almost. Her skill and her speed are basically the same growth, but she's gotten more skill than speed. I kind of wish it was the other way around, since they're both high enough for skill not to be too big of a problem. And the speed would help her avoid more and secure more kills, but that's kind of turning into Fire Emblem Heroes kind of language. Yeah, we're done. We are so getting out of here. Darmon's Lake. Well, that's a lake system. That's another Jake, hey. So this is yeah, seizing the throne makes a bunch of monsters stand down. Wow, Jake is also really good. Look at those bases. Those are kind of crazy. Caliber. So Jake is another reoccurring character in the Fire Emblem series. He is frequently, but not always, the significant other of Anna. And I believe the first time he appeared playable, if it wasn't FE1, I'm not sure if he was actually in FE1, but he did appear in Shadow Dragon, the remake, which they weren't afraid to add characters and stuff. I'm not sure. I don't think Shadow Dragon actually. No, Shadow Dragon did Norn and Athena and the like. So I'm not sure if Jake was original to Shadow Dragon or if he was actually in FE1, but his first appearance was as a class called the Ballistician, which is basically a walking ballista. So this is kind of at least the icon is a throwback to that. The name Caliber sounds kind of like the FE6's Air Caliber, which was a B rank anima spell with, I believe, almost these exact stats. Yeah, these exact stats. Though it was also effective against flying units. Is basically the wind spell to clip the wings of flyers. Though this one doesn't have any such tooltip. I'll be curious to see if it is. It also comes with the bolting, which will be welcome. Siege tomes are always pretty useful. And Berserk. And this actually looks like a very good chapter for a Berserk. Several Berserks. I have a feeling I might be going a little crazy with some Berserk this chapter. It looks like that good of an opportunity. Do I have a Berserk staff already? Because it would have been really good in that other chapter that we did last time. I do. I will keep that in mind. Berserk is one of those interesting statuses. Status stabs, the GBA games don't generally get too much use out of them. They're really powerful in, I believe, the Jugdral games. Thracia especially is sometimes called Staff Emblem, though not necessarily for the status stabs, but for some of the other stabs in the game. And the fact that ranged stabs in Thracia have unlimited range. You can literally use them to affect anything anywhere on the map. So let's look. These look like fairly standard enemies. They're not terribly overpowered. They're strong in the stats that their class should be strong in, and reasonable elsewhere. So that's good. Got a village to visit down there and over here. Speaking of Thracia, this actually kind of looks a little bit like a Thracia map. Is that another bridge? It's not a bridge. Though the comparison kind of breaks down over here a bit. But lots of things to do, which is good. I expect this to be a busy map. I'm going to use Berserk to kind of thin the crowd a bit, disrupt their formation as well. And I got to make sure I visit all the villages. I don't see them threatened on turn 1 yet, but they can always make a brigand appear, brigand or thief to appear and threaten them. They should be threatened. Gives you a sense of urgency. But okay, since it's a pretty big mix of enemies. Actually, were there any mages? A few mage knights splattered here and there. Okay, Excalibur. They both have Excalibur. A few mages just kind of casually toting the ultimate S-ranked tome, anima tome. That's yeah, that's okay. These guys are probably going to be the most threatening enemies in this group. Every single one of them has it. That's a +5 to speed. At least they're not FE4 legendary tomes. Would not want to have to fight against Holseti. The enemy does have strong and varied weaponry, which helps make them more threatening as well. But it doesn't change what I have to do. Cilicia is probably my best status staff user. Well, yeah. Celica has better resistance, which is the stat that is used to determine status success. However, strength, or in this case magic, is also still relevant because the magic stat determines the staff range. So if I want to be able to reach far targets, I need magic to get there. So, Nikita or Not Arch? This playthrough's Not Arch has kind of gotten the short end of the stick. RNG has not been kind to him, except for defense, randomly. But his other stats just have not been keeping up. Other than that, this kind of looks like my primary lineup regardless. I guess I can check. Didn't see anything immediately. It's just to see if there's anything to steal. If not, I can probably bench Bob and he just avoid him being a liability. And you've got the legendary axe too. But it's range 1. There's another boss that can't retaliate from range and doesn't move. All of your pretty standard. I think these are the same stats he has in his original game, Kalak. They don't really mean anything. You've just got obnoxiously high avoid as usual. But okay. So you probably want to berserk you, this guy. He'll come in, deal damage here, potentially kill both of these warriors. The generals aren't too big of a deal, especially since they don't move. Oops. The Wyvern Knight's probably going to close in on me right from the start, so I might not get much from berserking him. But this Paladin might be another good choice. Even better, can I get an 18 resistance? That's going to be a bit of a shaky hit rate on status there. but this paladin might be a good choice. This paladin probably will be if I can reach him safely. Curious that he talks to Void and not any of the Annas, but oh well. Alright. Don't need the torch. Can bench Bob. Anyone to take in his place. Celica. Celica is a good staff bot, but Leroy can also kind of, or not Leroy, not Arch can also kind of staff bot, and I'm not sure if either of them are going to be able to take a hit though. Celica's got at least some speed. Tam has Nikita's original Brave Axe and probably needs it a bit more. Actually, I'll give him an elixir. My reasoning there basically is he doesn't really need a vulnerary because he's got renewal, and anything his renewal can't cover, a vulnerary also won't cover. Tie is also going to be very, very important for this one, as per usual. Get Anna another light brand. I think I had another one. Yeah. So Rune Sword is not technically an upgrade to the light brand. The Rune Sword is slower and significantly slower, and it uses a slightly different formula. Take care, Ken. Thanks for joining. I probably just missed you since I just saw the Discord, but it'll be in the recording. So there's still merit to using a light brand over the Rune Sword. The Rune Sword does have Nosferatu effect as well though, so it kind of makes you tankier, but the Rune Sword is also always counts as dark magic, whereas the light brand in melee range actually counts as a sword, even though it still targets resistance. So for the fast character like Anna, I'm still kind of leaning towards the light brand to be able to continue taking advantage of her speed. So I did want to grab my other Berserk. And do I have any more Thunder tomes? Kaga's using it. I can take it from Kaga because Kaga doesn't see a lot of combat, so he doesn't need high uses on his tome. Did I break? I think I broke Shine. There was a shop right here. What do you have? What do you have for me? Thunder and Shine. Cool. Need both of those. Don't have a lot of money to work with, but let's continue kitting out my units. All of my killer lances are kind of on their last leg here as well. Alright, I wanted to give tie a Brave Lance so that he can actually double something. Or at least I want to see if it can. We'll see which wins, the Wary Fighter or the Brave Lance. Samson's also another one of my slower units, so giving him a Brave Lance will, or not a Brave Lance, a Brave Bow will help him deal a little bit more damage too. Nikita's okay. It's not too terribly off. Do I have a hammer? No. It's like there's a lot of these enemies also happen to have equipment, weaknesses to certain equipment that I might be able to take advantage of. So like, I'm actually going to swap out for the hand axe and the sword reaver. So if I need standard axe use, I can use the hand axe even in close range. But if I need to take out like one of those pesky sword masters with tie, I can give him this sword reaver. Actually, never mind. I've got lances. Doesn't make sense. Just go with the stronger axe. He's got sword rank, but he's restricted to iron swords at this rank still, and for a while, and I'm not sure that's worth giving up an equipment slot for. I can go axe to axe and still be neutral. Ty doesn't really need the weapon triangle advantage. Alright, so I think that covers, almost covers equipment setup. Might as well give you the recover so I can, I'm gonna sell the recover. Just get a little bit more funds back. Now this Celica happens to have S rank in magic, or anima magic, I should say, in addition to light magic. And since anima is objectively superior to light magic in the GBA games, I'm gonna leave her with that. Especially since I don't remember seeing any dark mages on the field. They were all anima mages, so giving her light would just put her at a disadvantage against them. Don't want that or that. Give it emergency fortify. Do I still have that purge tome? No, I don't think I got it on this one. This account. This playthrough. Okay. You up near front. That's good. The rest of this is pretty much okay too. Alright. So let's go pick up Jake first and foremost. I think this is in range of that Wyvern Rider, the Wyvern Knight to the right there, so I'm going to equip a Javelin. Yeah. Oh, you have a longbow too? I mean, I guess it's a longbow. 40. So wow, you got a really high strength. And then, yeah, death blow. Death blow actually makes... Death blow is actually kind of threatening here. It makes pretty much all of the their attacks on initiation, miniature killer weapons. Look at that mini mug. And and his boyfriend beat Leroy at Monopoly. So let's see here, what are his growths? He's got skill and luck and nothing else. 100 HP as well, but he's only got 10 more points to grow in that. Fortunately, he could have 0% growths and everything and he'd still be amazing. Let's see here. Swordbreaker. Cutting him down to 30 is not bad. Ooh, she can't reach the target I wanted her to use to berserk, but he can. Actually, this Wyvern Knight might be the better option. He'll fly around and harass those mage knights. So then on this end, I don't think I can reach them. But maybe I can do this Wyvern Knight as well. 11 defense, 13 defense. Oof. I have to go all the way over here in order to get in range. Not sure I'm ready to do that. Yeah, there we go. Doubles from with Wary Fighter. It's like I'm back in Heroes. Actually, an Edgeworth buff might put her in range from here. Just barely not. It's 27. Longboat's 5. So we've got, what, 32 attack with the longbow. So 16 and 16. Alright. So 15 and 15 because of the forest. Potentially even less. No. Don't want to put Arv too close. Alright, we'll save the other berserk use for a little bit later. Gotta get a little bit closer first. You can come through. wary fighter and you got high defense. But your only ranged option is a rune sword. And you're dead anyway, so I got a crit. Cool. So, you're in range already. Unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck turtling here because the crit rates on some of these enemies are just really high. A little more dangerous than I feel like tangoing with. Okay. So one of those is on the... Yeesh. One of those is on a mountain and one of those is on a fort. Neither of those are great. Provoking. Why would you attack him? Alright, so berserked enemies don't obey the same AI rules as enemies when they're not berserk. Great. Maybe I'll berserk one of those. You didn't move. So I have to do something about this Wyvern Knight, because he's got so much range, he can hit pretty much anyone. But the double longbows as well, with Death Blow. I admit I underestimated these warriors. Especially since they were positioned where I couldn't safely reach both of them. I might be overestimating this Wyvern Knight though. We'll see. I still need to deal with this Mage Knight though, regardless. Got 20 resistance, 22 luck, and this guy still has crit rate and damage on me. Spear, Silver Blade, Silver Axe, Silver Bow. I'm going to be relying on these brave weapons to take out threats that I can't afford to take counter hits from. The gap between Ty's level and the rest of my army continues to grow. So you should be defense sealed. But if I go in... So Excalibur probably has that property that I was saying Air Caliber used to have. The effectiveness against mages. Wow, he doesn't have any res. Got okay defense, no res. So that's actually, we can find out here. Oh, it does have advantage against flyers. Good. Even though it's not listed. That's okay. Though I'm still gonna have to get him out of there afterwards because those two warriors. Let's see if I can draw some of the warriors' attention, at least one of them, with the Phantom. I'm gonna bait this guy with Arv. So we can give Arv a resistance spur. Use a rally. Take out this guy. One shot. Good. Oh, I need to see his animations. I'd like to see his animations. Can turn you on as well. I'm just hoping Provoke doesn't draw the this guy, the wasted turn berserking him to get him to kind of attack other people. But and other than that, I don't have a lot of space to move around. Can I kill? I might be able to kill you with a Lance Reaver or Axe Reaver. I don't want to use a standard Lance because that's going to encourage them to switch back to their Silver Axe and do even more damage. I don't quite have enough damage. I can hope for an Aether or a crit though. Both have a reasonable chance of happening, except that neither of them did. I'm gonna berserk you. I should actually bring Arv, excuse me, get Arv out of that Mage Knight's range so that he doesn't move. Those ranges just barely overlap right through this area. So like, now I kind of want my flyers to pay attention to those warriors. Maybe I can take them out. But not this turn. I'm just kind of stuck turtling. I was gonna get Jake out of the way, and I didn't. Fortunately, that warrior decided to go for Void instead. And Jake apparently didn't have to deal with any attacks. That's good, that's what I wanted to happen. That's okay. So the Swordmasters do actually make good targets for Berserk. So I can finally kill these two warriors this turn. Okay. Saves me some use. I said I should, but so far they haven't actually been threatened, so I'm not, mostly because I have very little way of doing that safely. Every one of these Mage Knights has the potential to kill one-shot any of my units with a stray critical. Swordmasters too, and I have only one Hoplon guard. So Ty is like the only one who can kind of safely frontline. No. Brigands and thieves are usually the only ones programmed to be able to destroy villages, and nothing's appeared, and also nothing's moved. It's been 3 turns, and the only enemies that have moved have been in my range, which is a little unfortunate, because this just makes this a giant bait and switch map, which is kind of boring. It definitely slows everything down, too. That didn't change anything. Alright. So I'll let Swordmaster guy kind of go to town down here. See, with my Dancer, I could get someone else down there. I'm gonna use... You're supposed to have Savior, but she's still getting those penalties. Though admittedly it's only 3. Oh, because of the buffs. They math out of the way. Let's use Samson. I like Samson. A predictable sprite palette for Celica. I don't think I had seen it before. But alright, yeah, I can visit this. See what's here. You'll want this for later. Hey look, another Berserk staff. I kinda want that now. You. Jake has a reasonably pleasing color palette too. Man, why can you double? Oh, I guess the rally, putting him to 17 speed. Oops. Yeah, I guess if we can avoid taking a counter hit, that's probably even better. get Void back on the ground this turn. Some snazzy rescue drop maneuvers. Actually don't have need for a summon just yet. See, I expected that in some capacity. Oh, okay. That one I didn't see, but Prin's tanky. She can handle it. Swordmaster's gonna... okay. Oh. I was hoping... oh, you know what? That's probably Provoke at work. The generals also have Provoke. The enemy generals. I'm like, that's never gonna do anything against the player, but... berserked enemies can be drawn to generals. Via Provoke. Oh, Nikita. Really underwhelming there. I suppose not unexpected, though. Oh man, even Anna can't double? 14, right? Yeah, I need 18 to double. Or a brave weapon. Oof. Real close. Just needed one more attack. Which I might be able to supply. Alright, so you're way down there now. I'm a little hesitant to berserk any more than this, now that I realize that the Provoke is going to draw all of the berserked enemies to the generals. Suppose I could try landing it on one of the Mage Knights, though. None of them are in range. Okay, so not this turn. 2, 6. It's all right. Yeah, it's kind of what Kirsten does. Defense was nice. It was defense, right? I guess this will do. Samson does have good strength, so let me use the steel axe instead of using more of the brave lance. Spear Paladin. pretty much the only thing I have to worry about. Just taking out, as far as taking out that Wyvern Knight goes. I mean, I guess I could leave it and see if his Berserk will send him off to fight someone else. I think, at worst case, he'll target Tai. Well, that's not worst case, but Tai or Nikita here, since they have their own provokes. It's a lot better now that I've freed up some space to actually work with on the map. Yes, Prin can go down this way. Can't visit that house. Alright, I was gonna visit this shop with someone, wasn't I? I'll send a flyer later on. I could bolting him. So what would that actually get me, though? That's the question. I'm thinking about killing this general. I would need 2 turns of bolting, or yeah. Let's see. The goal of doing that is to try to make it so that this Swordmaster then targets someone else for his Berserk tirade, instead of kind of fairly harmlessly whacking against this general. Didn't even equip the silver sword. You might actually do decent damage against him with the silver sword. So, alright. We'll give it a go. See if that Swordmaster switches to the silver sword, which I think he's just cycling through his weapons since nothing's super effective at the moment. So the silver sword should be next. See if he does enough damage to kill him. 22, 22. So he'll do 6 damage. But he could also proc Astra, he could also crit. So there's that. This is good. I was expecting this. Hopefully he doesn't just move over now that he's partially hurt that warrior. But I do want to try to get in range to berserk one of the mage knights. Switching this around for a little bit of safety, though I don't expect either of them to take hits. Yeah, expected that. I was gonna do something about that Wyvern Knight, but yeah. Yep, that's what I was hoping for. That was what I was afraid of. Wyvern Knight, what are you gonna do? You're gonna target Nikita, okay. So my provokes are starting to overtake. Alright, so the thief is going to threaten one of the villages. Probably this one. But fortunately, I am getting kind of close myself here. Though I think I am going to need a rescue in order to get her out of there safely. Depends on if this kills. So if that kills, then the Paladin isn't terribly threatening. Can I make that kill? I can. What else is around here? There's... Ooh, I am threading a needle a bit here. Alright, if she was going to crit anyway, then I didn't need to rally for her. But the rally will also help her survive the Paladin next turn. So I want to see what the Berserk Swordmaster does before I kind of rush in here. See if I can get him to do as much damage as I can. Right there. 52. It's not great, but let's see. Get him to the other side and dance him, and then I can rally again. And this should improve my hit rate against him up to 86. That's a big improvement. Nice. Alright, so he should... So unlike the Swordmasters, since his Mage Knight targets resistance, should tear these generals apart, even with their provoke. And then potentially still have enough Berserk left on him to go harass someone else as well. But Berserk on this Wyvern Knights has usefulness has expired. Where is it getting all these stat buffs? Oh, wait, no. You're only at 2 range. Where did these stat buffs come from? Is that an Uber Spear? No. So the weird thing is, these stat buffs look like my Edgeworth's Rally, but Edgeworth shouldn't be in range to rally him. So long. Farewell. Whoa, Samson got speed. Actually, I wonder if... No, there's no skill that I can tell that would give that Wyvern Knight the stat boosts. The rally buff that my character's got. So again, don't want to get too close here. Yeah, I'll take the forest just so the Swordmaster doesn't. Oh, okay. You're fine. You're fine. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. That Wyvern Knight to the south had a wider movement range than I was expecting. Just making sure he didn't randomly get the buffs too. Sure, we can rally. It's was it rally resistance? Yeah. None of them really need it, but suppose I could send a summon down here as long as I stay outside of that range. Lucky sevens gives me an edge here. Though, well, I can try to make the Swordmaster go after Anna. That's a good level up. Good stuff. So that's either going to draw the Thief or it's going to draw the Warrior. Both of which are pretty good. Do you actually have anything? You just have the Slim Sword? Yeah. So. Here's just heals. Staff bot. Okay, that's what he was going for. Yup. Those numbers. Get wrecked. Can I hit him a second time? Yeah. So I'm also potentially hoping that the warrior, yeah, goes into range of the Swordmaster. So yeah, that's okay. I can visit the village with Kirsten next turn. Dai is level 16 promoted, I believe. He is the closest one to being capped. Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was hoping for. Cool. Excellent. Probably not going to get much else out of that, the Berserk Swordman up there. So I had Jake was wielding Berserk. I broke his. And Cilicia has Berserk. And I Berserked four enemies, two Swordmasters, a Wyvern, or three Swordmasters. No, two Swordmasters, one Wyvern Knight, and then this Mage Knight. This Swordmaster is probably not going to do much else. He's going to kind of bump up against this general and just kind of tickle him a little bit. And this Swordmaster doesn't really have any more targets worth... Well, I might be able to get him to kill either one of these two. Just need to make sure I can visit and get out. You'll want this for later. A Warp Staff. I believe is my second one. So, okay, let's... I can rescue. Can anyone take? Yes. And just like that, we're out. And I can even cross the river, start crossing the river there. So since I wanted stuff out of here, let's take a gander. At least two. I want at least one of these. I'd probably want two. I know I can get more of these from the base. Luna's not worth anything. Eclipse is not really worth anything. So I think we're good. Just need to make sure I don't wander into Mage Knight's range. With this, I have mostly cleared the bottom portion of the map. There's a few stragglers in the bottom left, but bottom right's pretty much open. Man, Nikita has not been keeping up. Forgot to check what was in here. Silver stuff. Silver stuff. Nothing terribly impressive either. Actually, what was... Alright, so kitty corner 2. Tie is safe. And directly south is also safe. Alright, I kind of wanted to see if that house was visitable, and it isn't. Oh, okay. So, Berserk expired anyway. Alright. That's fine. I like the Mage Knight moving out somewhere where is not going to... It makes it easier for me to continue advancing. I'm just gonna take a swing here. I'm not really expecting to hit. And my lack of faith was rewarded. Can I kill you this turn? Almost, maybe. Maybe with buffs. And an assist. That'll make the village safe to visit with Nikita. Ah, just res. It's almost safe. Oh, it's the paladin. Okay. And yeah, that's alright. That's fine. Speedwing. I'm not sure I need to save that, but we'll see. I'll leave him there because the village, despite it changing its tile description, does still give, I think, 10 avoid, 1 death, maybe. Are there any other villages? I think I actually got them all. Cool. And the appearance of the thief down there kind of confirms for me that I'm moving at least roughly the correct pace, at least the minimum pace that the creator expected. All right, we'll give Tam 12, 14. I don't expect the paladin to target him, but in case he does, actually. Ooh, hit rate's a little shaky, not quite reliable, but any way I can improve that? Not while still having enough damage to kill. But Kirsten can reach as well, which is good. So, actually, I might want to use Kirsten in the first place here. She just needs the experience more. Alright. Skill's good. She doesn't have fantastic growth in skill, so keeping that up is good. I guess I can bring Anna back here. Yeah, she didn't crit. Well, that was wholly unnecessary. Since that paladin didn't feel like moving on his own, I can entice him into coming out. It's basically just a magic trio plus Kirsten over there. Who's left? Oh, right. Anna. $12, 17. I might actually be able to double him. As long as I can kill him, then that can be a safe maneuver. A safe move. But I'll have to see. So yeah. That Swordmaster didn't do as much as I had hoped he would, but he did at least kind of disrupt formation. Alright, so what do you do? 14 twice, 17. Not enough damage, so I'm gonna have to abandon that project for now. Kirsten and Anna could double team him, but just not really worth it at the moment. Do I have a Lance Reaver? No. Do I need one? Not really. So that's a good question, Matt, and something I've never been real certain of. I haven't really read any don't want to say documentation, but I haven't really seen any analysis of how Provoke actually works. In the Tellius games. Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn was the first place I remember running into it. And it did seem to draw more enemies to that unit, but not all of them. And there was another skill called Shade, which is the opposite. It made them less likely to be targeted, but it didn't seem to work all the time, so it seemed like it might have been the percent chance of pulling or not pulling, which kind of made it unreliable. Provoke, you could use them on like the tankier characters. It was actually not a bad idea to give it to Ike early on. It helped feed him more kills, get him experience faster. But you couldn't use it to protect your squishy characters like I've been with Ty. It seems like in this hack, Provoke has a much stronger effect. If it's not a guaranteed, which it almost seems like it has been, then the percentage chance of it happening is very high. It might be a percent chance when there's more than one provoke target in the within the attack range of an enemy, or the AI might kind of apply its usual rules to those two, the two or more units that have provoke in the vicinity, and then choose one of them based on those. And use Lance Breaker here, give Arv some attention as well. But the description of provoke has never been very clear on how it actually works. Not to the degree of specificity that I like and have come to expect from a lot of Fire Emblem games. The whole transparency with formulas and so on is one of the things that kind of helps keep all the decisions strategically informed, and one of the reasons I like Fire Emblem over, say, Shining Force, which, though a great game, strategically you're kind of making more guesses because the game just doesn't give you the degree of information that you get from Fire Emblem. Who do I want to give this to? Kirsten still seems like she needs the most experience. Samson started out pre-promoted, but has kind of fallen behind because he's a sniper and he's slow, so he doesn't get very many kills. Tam needs more attention too. What's your range? Can I rescue Tam with anyone? 13 con, 11 aid, 14 aid. Okay, so I could. Or not. I kind of want to kill this soldier so that this Mage Knight uses his last Berserk turn on, say, this Swordmaster instead. But I need to make sure that I make my move in such a way that I can get the attacker out of range of the Mage Knight, so that the Mage Knight is guaranteed to target someone else. One of my enemies. Not sure if I should be continuing to try to feed Nikita or not, or just leave him since he's the filler. I might just do that. Tam can have some more experience. And then re-rescue. And rally, even though I don't really need it. So who's left? Just Ty? Alright. Alright, so who's the Mage Knight going to attack next? The Warrior, probably? Yeah, because the Warrior is the lowest resistance. Aw, he just finished healing up all that damage. Too bad. So I'm going to do some rescue stuff here just to kind of cover some more ground. Oops. Accidental rally. It's quite tempting to re-berserk one of these two, just because we're kind of back in that formation where it's a little tricky to approach. Which is technically good map design, that any approach you want to make is layered with a bit of risk. If I want to take out this Swordmaster, I have to deal with this Mage Knight or this Mage Knight, and this Wyvern Knight next turn, unless I do some rescue drop shenanigans, which I probably am going to. This Berserk is wearing off next turn, so he's going to be a regular enemy again. Oof. So how? I wonder if they did change the status success formula, because Jake, we did manage to boost Jake's success rate up to like 80 something on this Mage Knight, but Celica here, or Cilicia, the same staff and much higher resistance, is only hitting 20 and 30. So maybe it's not resistance based anymore. I could bolting one or both of these. I think if I bolting you, no, I'm not really doing enough damage to make that worth it. What about you? Still the same thing. Damn, not going to be particularly useful here. So, alright. So maybe it's magic versus their resistance or something. How am I doing with the actual? That's alright. We're gonna get skill and luck and nothing else. HB. What was that? Did the screen just shake? The real question is, can I use Cilicia to finish him off? With that hit rate, I'm not so sure. I can try. Oh. Oh well. Fortunately, they're both still safe, so I can just wait till next turn. Or I can actually use Ty to bait the Swordmaster out, just not have to deal with him. Next player phase. That was a weird move. Like I could see why he would move to the fort, but I'm not sure why he moved above the fort. And then nothing. I guess the first bolting just kind of scrambled his brain a bit. Alright, well, Arv is the only decent choice I have for baiting those Mage Knights, combining her good resistance, decent HP, and good luck with her general skills. So like Anathema, Malefic Aura. Actually, none of these are good for defense. Never mind. But she still has the right spread, and she has phantoms as well, which can actually, if it's just one, like it is here, I'm gonna use a phantom instead, because those are disposable. So my flyer pairs can actually start moving into a position to do some assault strikes. See, not there. I'm not sure why they... Well, okay. I was gonna say, I'm not sure why they gave the Mage Knights both Fimbulvetter and Eclipse. Not Eclipse, Excalibur. Because as soon as they attack, they're gonna go switch to Excalibur because it's the superior weapon. But then I do kind of realize that they start them out with Fimbulvetter as kind of encourage me, the player, to try to initiate on them before they can move, which does kind of encourage using really high movement units again, which I'm not sure if it's a good idea to continue plugging cavalry like that, but it's a thing, I guess. So like, yeah. If he had crit with it, his Excalibur, it still would have killed Harv. Just though I would have set her up with either a rally or a spur res. So in that case, I believe I would have cut his damage low enough that I could have survived an attack. But it's kind of moot now. 95. I switch him to a silver bow, or either that or just rescue him, because the Wyvern Knight's coming in next. I think I'll just rescue him. This should be on the same. Nope, that was a miscalculation. All right. Ty can go in and draw their fire instead. So what do you do to me? 13. but with a finite crit, non-zero crit. 14. Yeah, both of those crits kill in one hit. So, Wyvern Knight's probably going after Ty. Mage Knight should hit the Phantom. And then we just edge everyone else a little bit closer. Mage Knight to Phantom. Knight to Ty. Yeah, I've mentioned in previous videos how provoke in this hack being almost 100%, if not 100% draw, aggro draw, it's neat, but I'm not sure if I like it, because it does make, I don't know, I'm not sure how I would balance the game around such a thing, because I don't think it currently is balanced around that. The hack being what it is, balance is kind of an odd term to throw regardless, but 11, 9, 12, 26. I want to throw Tam some more experience. But yeah, the provoke is extremely potent at protecting my squishier units, to almost to the point where I don't have to protect them at all. And I'm not sure if that should be the case. That's still kind of a shaky hit rate. But I'm also not entirely sure how I would change provoke to make it a bit more fair. Was considering like a cooldown on it, maybe, like it draws 4 units but then stops working, or maybe it doesn't work if there's already certain number of units, enemy units within like 2 to 3 squares, or maybe it only has a effectiveness on units within like 3 squares, so if they're further off they won't be affected by it. That might be feasible. It can have that 100% draw, but only within that sphere of effect. So it's still useful without being overpowering. Let's see, 17. You've got a ranged weapon. Oh, they both have tomahawks. Okay. So I do have to lure that swordmaster out. And there's nothing better for luring than phantoms. I don't really need either of those. No, we're almost done here. It's been a bit of a slow going, but... Oh, reinforcements. What kind of reinforcements? Basically what we've been fighting all along. Let's see here. They can take out that warrior like I was talking about before. Let's use Fumble better. I like its animation. Oh, got a crit too. It's just it's so heavy that it's hard to justify using it. Since I was intending to just throw it out as kind of chip damage, but I got a kill with it anyway, so that's fine. See, there's that paladin up there to deal with. But unfortunately, this is the kind of pace that results from having a map with a lot of enemies, but no enemy events going on. So I think that's kind of what this map was lacking, any kind of eventing. The only thing that happened was the thieves appeared. There was 2 thieves that appeared to threaten villages after a certain amount of time. If they had, if they had appeared on the first turn, then this one would have been impossible to save without some serious warp shenanigans. Which, I mean, at this point I will have just gotten 2 warp staves, so if you'd gotten this one first, then it might have been able to, but you basically have to reach them on. Given that the thief appears here and has 6 movements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the thief basically destroys the village on the turn after it appears. So I think maybe if they had made like thieves appear like maybe up here or from this fort. If you made this fort, then you'd want to target the further one. But then that would provide more of a realistic Turtle D incentive, and something that kind of feels a bit more real. These ones, while at least they were at least present, they didn't really. There wasn't any warning, so the only reason, yeah, like I said, the one would appear and destroy on the next turn. This one needed 1 extra turn because it was just far enough away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So they're kind of less of you need to hurry up, and more of you didn't go fast enough already and you're going to miss out. So they should have appeared further away but earlier. That way you kind of get more of a sense of a race to the target, a race to reach the villages. Oh, Aegis. I have to read that description because I thought Aegis reduced damage, not removed it entirely. Oh, nullify a magic attack. Okay, that's a little different than what I'm used to. Aegis more traditionally halves the damage from ranged attacks, be it magic or bows, or hidden weapons if you're playing Fates. I think I'd rather give the experience to Anna. So I'll let Kirsten do these, or not. Let Kirsten soften them up, but she apparently had her own ideas. Double 6% crit. Okay. Chill, Kirsten. You can have the kill. And I can go over and take this one. Strength, speed, def. That's good. I think her base stats probably ought to have been higher, or her starting level should have been lower. These are still kind of rather underwhelming stats for having promoted at level 20. And her growths aren't really that great, aren't great enough to compensate. But alas. Yes, you've got some damage on you already, so I'll start with you. So I have plenty of mages here, most of them mage knights. So tearing through these generals should be a simple matter. Cilicia even has acrobatics. She's got a horse that can do flips, so she can just casually stroll over forests and mountains. So, longbow. Yeah, he packs a punch, but not only once. Oh, 17 now. So those warriors at the beginning of the map were a pretty good idea. They were surprisingly threatening, and giving them longbows with really high base attack made them... you couldn't ignore them. They had a surprising range around here thanks to the longbows, 2 to 3 range that you had to take, you had to be careful of, and giving them death blow on top of that gave them this chance of a crit that, combined with their attack, actually made them threatening. The mage knights were mostly just threatening because they had an S rank weapon, and that's not too different from just stat inflating. Swordmasters were interesting. They had nice diverse weaponry, which made them threatening to... which would have made them threatening to bait. I think they needed to... I think they needed to come with armor slayers, though, in addition to what they had. We are on 26, and there should be 30 in the hack, so there should be 4 more. Oops. Actually, I don't think we saw the animation for Alacaliber last time. Need to be able to... You know what? This is... wow, everyone has mobility over mountains here. There we go. So I actually want to check out what animation they used for Alacaliber. See if it's the same one from FE6, see if they ported it, which I know you can do. I wasn't able to get it to work the last time I tried it, but... yes, it is. Cool. It killed the music, but it worked. That was weird. Alright, boss is all that's left, and boss does not have a ranged weapon. Still doesn't move. Yep. The boss is gonna be a joke. Oh yeah, and the reinforcement. The one single reinforcement. I'm wondering if something might have supposed to be popping out of this fort, but I'm covering it. So I just have to deal with your obnoxious avoid. Here's a start. Mostly picked him to carve out a spot for rally man to rally. Always is funny seeing a mage animation that then casts a spell that you're not used to seeing it cast. So like a bishop casting fire here, or in the original Sacred Stones with the enemy control glitch, you could teach them dark magic and it actually would preserve their animation still, because mages do like a casting animation and then whatever animation for the spell they have equipped comes out regardless of what their cast animation. Let's see, who do I give this kill to? Tam needs more experience. So you could have bishops with flux, and that always looked kind of cool. Maybe it was my imagination, but the flux animation itself did something a little weird if I remember correctly. When it crit, the flux I mean. Let's see, what's the Axe Slayer do? Axe Reaver? 76, but he also doesn't swing back very hard at all. I'm a little surprised he's not 40? Tw 20 defense. I mean, I guess he hits for 20, yeah, 22 with weapon triangle advantage, magnified by the Reaver weapon. Alright. He doesn't drop that Garm. I wonder if I get it when I seize. I haven't been paying attention to whether or not I already have Garm either. But he does drop the Philly Shield. Hey, Final Insanity. Things in capital, huh? Yes, there have been things that have been said about this hack. I'm almost done. This is chapter 26, and I'm actually kind of closing up for the night. But thanks for stopping by at least. It has been quite a bit of fun. The design, you can tell that it was kind of thrown together, but I expected that, and it's been really good in spite of that. You got some very interesting and entertaining kind of meme insertions as well. As well as some unique I don't want to say anti or like almost new archetype kind of things. Rallybot Edgeworth has Rally Spectrum, Strength, Speed, Movement, and Defense, which is where Kaga was getting all of those buffs from. The skill implementation is fantastic. Um, yeah, as a civilian. Saw that immediately. Saw that he was also stuck to 5 movement and immediately gave him Swift Souls. Kaga got a pair as well. You got some interesting things with growth rates as well. Like, so my general has no speed growth whatsoever, but he has Wary Fighter. Though speedrunners will tell you he's better off having been made into a Great Knight for the movement, but I'm filthy casual of sorts, so I liked the idea of giving him Wary Fighter, so that I don't have to worry about him taking doubles and so on. The main character is Void herself, who I actually only learned today is something of a meme. Something about a Syrian's Forest forum post proposing a hack, and basically the only thing that they provided as their proof of concept at the start was the name Void, like 2 or 3 stats, and then one of which was luck, which was set to 0, and what was it? With the comments, no much. So that kind of got immortalized in this hack. And sure enough, 0 luck, 0% growth in luck. I gave her some goddess icons, so she wasn't totally at the mercy of RNG random crits. But then I got a Hoplon guard as well, and she basically has never left her inventory since. Other than that, she's a fairly solid unit. Got good skills. Aether she gets from the start. Rifle King kind of helps it out. She's got good skill to take advantage of it too. And Bond, the Bride skill from Awakening, helps with passive healing and so on. Nil, however you want to pronounce it. Kind of a la Tellius games. But yeah, the cast has been interesting in their performance, and like I have 2 Celicas as well, and there's been 3 different Annas. There's no real writing involved. Prin actually got some lines from the whoever made her chapter actually decided to write a little bit, but there's basically no characterization or supports, which I wasn't expecting, honestly. Even so, there's still a fair amount of personality to go around. Just kind of stuff like in the tooltips for descriptions. I imagine most of the names and comments are memes or jokes, inside jokes in some form or another. I don't know why, but my shaman also has ranks in light magic. Void is Erica's sprite, but actually uses a spear, a lance. There's one of the Annas. There's another one, and then there's a rogue Anna as well. But yeah, it's been a ride. The early game was a lot harder than the end game. I'm actually playing on hard mode at the moment, and some of the early games chapters were brutal. But then we kind of reached like chapter, I want to say 16, 17 or so, and then I just had a series of maps that were actually kind of boring. There wasn't a lot going on in them. I think I'm done here. I got everything that I wanted. So, convenient lake. So, map design's been a mixed bag. But, excuse me. Oh boy. That's kind of true of a lot of the games. Do a quick preview. As continuing the last two chapters, well, not last two, but two of the last three chapters have had a kind of obnoxious enemy density, and this one's continuing that trend. They all have bandit mug. At least this one doesn't look like it, all the enemies are not decked out with advanced weaponry and stuff. Like everything in the last chapter had silver weapons, effective weapons. All the mage knights had Excalibur plus Fimbulvetter. Let me see stats real quick. Yeah, this looks, density aside, the stats and equipment looks for the most part fair. Interesting starting positions. We're already butting heads with this Berserker. And Orson, Necromancer. Is it Tome Fair? I wonder if he should have been a Necromancer originally. Spoilers for Sacred Stones. Kind of. Alright. So this is a interesting map design that's looks like I could potentially fly or skip it if I were really wanted to be slick. Basically have 3 archers to deal with and then I'm clear. But we saving that for next time. Thanks for joining in, everyone. My stream schedule's kind of sporadic. It's usually on Friday or Saturday, starting around 9:30. But it kind of depends on a number of factors. But I do have the link to my YouTube playlist for all the different chapters that I've done, or different episodes that I've done so far down below the stream. I'll try to figure out how to clean that up, make it a little prettier. I'm still kind of new to streaming and Twitch, using Twitch in general, so bear with me. So if you're interested in seeing past stuff, the YouTube playlist is down there. You can check it out. So, but yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks again, and good night, everyone.